Hey friends, welcome to another episode of the Social Ledger Report. This is JR. So you've heard me talk a lot throughout the year about social market, and in this episode we mentioned I am the founder of MintLocke now. So what happened is we decided to kill, social market? We decided to kill social market because we were never able to find product market fit, and what we decided to do is make this product, this new approach, a lot leaner. And I kind of want to show it to you what we're doing. So too long didn't read is MintLocke just automates your portfolio, your crypto portfolio. It's basically Autopilot but for crypto. If you use the popular app Autopilot on the iOS store, it's pretty much, autonomously trading your stocks wherever with whatever broker you connect it to. So now we're doing it in a more decentralized manner, true to crypto and for your portfolio in crypto. So yeah, let me show you how it works a little. So what you do is first, this is the development stage, but you can always log in, you can sign up. So the way it works, you have this button conveniently located up here on how to use. You can kind of read it, but basically you set up a strategy, you follow popular strategies that Wall Street people use to make their clients a lot of money, such as dollar cost averaging, stop loss, or yield, something like that. You can kind of just follow here, you can interact with this. You click next. So that was step one. And with step two is you can easily deposit money here by just connecting your MetaMask or your Phantom wallet, for instance. And you can kind of get a projection based on your strategy. In this case, it's about 17%. And then once you have your deposit made, you can kind of get projections and real-time alerts on your portfolio's performance. So if you want to get started, again, all you got to do is connect your wallets like MetaMask, Phantom wallet, etc. So if I connect my MetaMask, I can connect with my real wallet. First I need to kind of confirm this, and I'm in the app. I don't have any money in here, as you can see, but that's kind of the gist of it. So we're still building this. We don't expect a release until halfway into 2026 because there's a lot to be done. But if you want to learn more about MintLocke, you can always go to mintlocke.com and join our waitlist. If you actually want this, if you think this is something that's going to help you, then I highly encourage you to read into it because we've done some simulations, some projections, and this could actually work. And we really believe there could be an appetite for this in the markets. So anyways, this has been JR. You can always see more on the podcast, what we talk about, more about this. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hey friends, welcome back to another episode. This is JR, founder of MintLocke.
Yes, and I'm Leon. I don't know what my title. I guess Chief Marketing Officer of MintLocke. We're in person with cameras. We should do a selfie real quick.
Yeah, we should. And we've got a beer to celebrate New Year's.
Yes, some Modelo, the number one.
Yeah. Wait, let's do it again.
There we go. The number one import beer, I believe it is right now.
I think so.
Yeah,
it's from Mexico, so.
Yeah, the Mexican beer. Ever since that Budweiser mess up, Modelo's like the number one beer, or like moved up to number one, number two spot. So
I didn't know that, but I believe it. I've seen more people drink Modelo than I see them drink like Bud Light, Lone Star here in San Antonio, and even like
ever since
Miller
Lone
Lite.
Star got purchased by Pabst.
Really?
Pabst Brewery. That one, it's been they tweaked the formula and it went downhill.
Wow.
So, no, but we're recording in 2025.
Yep.
This will be an episode, the first one, I think, in 2026. We're going to talk what MintLocke is, and then we're going to talk predictions. I wanted to do like a fun show where we kind of lock ourselves into like Polymarket style predictions, and then maybe we can find some of these on Polymarket or Kalshi. Probably Kalshi because it's legal in the United States.
It is. I don't feel like using a VPN right now, so.
No, and then also like
Kalshi.
getting the money over to Polymarket with the VPN, remembering to use the VPN, keeping track of all of that. It's a lot more work than just like betting on Kalshi.
It's kind of crazy how Robinhood, a couple of things. I don't know if you guys live under a rock, but I'll fill you in real quick on the world that is the prediction market, rapidly evolving. So they have this new coalition alliance to go against the casinos, and traditional gambling industries like casinos, resorts like in Vegas, or even the Indians like in
those
Oklahoma.
reservation ones, Oklahoma, Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah, are they called? No, not Indians, Native Americans. My bad.
There you go.
My bad.
You're going to get railed for that one.
Oh gosh, I know, man. In Spanish, we call them Indians or Indios, so that's where I'm coming from. Sometimes my Spanish brain clicks in. No, but yeah, this coalition of prediction markets, you have Coinbase, Robinhood, Kalshi, even Polymarket, all of them kind of just coming together, putting all their money together to lobby for the government to essentially make it recognize that prediction markets are not gambling. Mm-hmm. And to a degree, I think that's true. I think prediction markets in this very new and really weird kind of gray area where it's not direct gambling. Maybe because of how it's being interpreted in the media, the kind of insights you can get. That's where I'm coming from.
I think so. I also don't think you're playing a house. Like, the house always wins in betting.
Yes.
The bookie. You're playing other people. The payouts go to everybody versus the house. Kalshi and Polymarket take fees.
Yeah, it's all fees. And I think not all of them are crypto native, but that's the beauty of fintech and crypto. It's all just fees.
Yeah, I think they're going to all run on these rails. Like, Kalshi has like partnerships with Coinbase to do stuff. Robinhood's, using them as their back end. A bunch of crypto, like Gemini has launched it. So predictions are really where it's at, and I kind of like that we're doing our predictions now so that we can lock everything in, and then also gives me a sense of like where I think the sentiment is, so that when we talk about it, like there's I texted you that link for it, and we'll put it in the notes. It's about predicting the price of Bitcoin. Did you put a price prediction in?
Oh, no, let me go ahead and do that right now.
Yeah, like do it real time.
Okay. The first question is, will Bitcoin trade above 100,000 at any point before the end of 2026? I think yes. I don't know the exact price, but it's an easy yes for me.
I can get behind that one, because I think we're going to have price movements through 2026 that I don't know if it will stick above 100K, but I could definitely see us crossing 100K again, and then having like, downturns or just stability, just like the past few days. Bitcoin, and we're talking December 27th right now. So Bitcoin is at 87,549, so $87,549. It went above 90,000 briefly, and then it just dropped again. So I really do think Bitcoin is going to have its year. I think there's a lot of economic pressures happening that are causing Bitcoin right now. Like, you have to understand ETF inflows, outflows. You have to understand institutional money, and everyone's really getting on there. And I think 2026 is going to be the year Bitcoin and like all these macro adoptions start really happening in reality.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable. I mean, you probably heard that linger around crypto Twitter, or even that one weird uncle who always is very like the black sheep of the family who is at the family table. I think it's inevitable that Bitcoin is going to continue growing. I mean, it makes sense from a math perspective. There's only a limited amount of it, and then you're seeing a lot of big money putting like quite literally billions of dollars into that asset. And it is statistically proven that it's the best performing asset of the 2010s. So, I mean, you just can't beat that.
Okay, I agree with that. Now, we're keeping to a thematic run through here. So we're going to talk Bitcoin first, where we'll talk regulations, we'll do stable coins, and there's a few other spots. So we're going to speed run some of these. The next one in here is, will at least one G20 country officially hold Bitcoin as part of its treasury reserves?
What's G20?
Okay, I knew somebody was going to ask that, and I wanted to be correct on all the countries. So G20 is 20 countries, well, 19 countries now, that are comprising it. So you're talking Argentina, Australia, Brazil, all modern economies, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Korea, Mexico.
So it's like
all of those.
Is that like a coalition?
Yeah, it's essentially just like I don't even know. It's like an intergovernmental forum. just like the leaders meet with the leaders and they have like important things. Just like the rich people meet out in California every year, or they go to Omaha to meet with Warren Buffett.
Okay. I didn't know that. That's actually
G7 too, which is Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, UK, US. So when you talk about that, these are the developed countries of the world, modern economies that are really the countries that, you know, have large militaries, make influential, you know, progress in the world, and have input into what's happening around the world. So will one of these countries hold Bitcoin as part of their treasury?
At least one. That's a big yes on my end.
I'm a little skeptical about it because
Really?
Bitcoin is a dangerous asset to many people.
I think those people are plebs. But I'm kidding. But like in all seriousness, like these countries, can you list them again? I heard France, Canada. I know France, they're super anal about a lot of their stuff, like legislation. Well, I guess to keep it short, legislation. But Canada is also kind of slow with the crypto adoption stuff, but they're actually moving to the trajectory that...
So let me give you the full G20,
Okay.
and this will help color it because it is like 19 nations, because Russia, I believe, got kicked out recently. It's Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany,
Well, you know
India,
Argentina.
India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Korea, which is the Republic of Korea. Russia's in here. I thought they got kicked out.
When you say Republic of Korea, you're talking about both
No,
countries?
it's
or
just
South?
that's the Republic of Korea, South Korea.
Oh, never mind.
Russia,
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, United Kingdom, United States, and then it's the European Union and then African Union. So African Union, I don't actually know who comprises that. That's a little outside of like my knowledge part. But the European Union, you know, think Germany, all those like big countries in there in the European Union, all of them collectively together. I forget how many's in there.
Well, Britain is outside of the EU again because of like the whole Brexit.
It did Brexit.
Yeah, and I think if any one of them were to at least adopt crypto to any capacity, including Bitcoin, which, let's face it, if you're talking about crypto, 90% of the time you're thinking Bitcoin. I would be willing to bet my money that at least one of those countries, which you mentioned, at least Britain, would accept crypto. And the reason
It's
why...
part of their treasury thing. So like we have treasuries that make up our things. So right now the US government does hold Bitcoin. Right now China holds Bitcoin, which is a little odd considering their like anti-crypto stance. The UK holds Bitcoin, Ukraine, El Salvador, North Korea supposedly holds it, and then Bhutan, which I'm butchering that, Venezuela, very interesting, you know, there, and then
that is
Finland.
very interesting.
So will they hold it as part of the treasury? I'm going to vote no. And so you're going to stick it with yes?
I will.
Okay, so now the next one, I think this is a fun one because right now what's happening is boomer coins, aka gold and silver.
Boomer coins.
Yep.
That's so funny because it's quite true. Like you would not find some millennial or Gen Z unless they inherited it. Like they inherit it. You're never gonna find them with like gold coins.
Yeah.
And they even have like the $50 value to it before it was depegged from the gold standard.
Yeah, so do you think, and the question is, will Bitcoin's cap exceed gold market cap at any point? Right now...
At any point in 2026.
2026, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say no. This is a long-term thing.
Because right now, Bitcoin's is about 1.8 trillion, and gold is about 31 trillion.
Yeah, it's quite a while.
I don't know what the price of Bitcoin would have to be to get to that point, but I think it's there.
I think... Not to interrupt you again, but I think Brian Armstrong kind of talked about it in that one podcast with the founder of Stripe.
Okay.
I forgot what it's called, the podcast, but it's available anywhere if you look at it.
Is it the one where they have like a cool like a pizza parlor style?
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
I don't know what it is called, but I just love the clips.
Badass
Yes,
vibes.
badass setup.
And they're also drinking beer, so we were a little bit inspired today. But Brian said it would the value of a single Bitcoin would probably have to be around the range of $1 million for the total market cap to overpass
gold.
Okay, so I don't think that's feasible right now. I think I think Bitcoin's a cycle, and I think crypto's a cycle, and right now I think we're going to be in a bearish cycle.
I think if we're talking cycles, I think we will see that with almost any industry.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know much about oil or energy, but we're kind of seeing this with AI right now. When ChatGPT came out in 2022, we saw like this gold rush trying to release application-based AI products. A lot of them were chatbots and ChatGPT wrappers, but I think we're now transitioning from like a SaaS kind of model to a more platform and more maybe even hardware, because that's all what's being funded.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
it always follows the money, and the money's pushing it there.
So that's my point. I think cycles is just wherever the money goes and wherever people think the money is going.
Yeah.
So
okay. That's fair, and tied to like where the money's going is the next question. Will another major spot Bitcoin ETF be approved outside the US? So look at Asian markets, Middle Eastern markets. Like,
yeah.
I personally think the answer is yes. I think ETFs are going to be the way that most institutions hold money.
Man.
And I think that they're going to really push for this.
We covered this like this year. There were at least 2 or 3 countries that enabled it. Obviously, there's the US, and I think one of them was Japan, if not like some Eastern Asian country like Singapore or even Thailand. I would say yes, just because there's a lot of, especially in Southeast Asia, there's a lot of countries that are very crypto friendly, and to people's surprise, like I was very surprised when I learned that Singapore is actually, a very big, lucrative country.
Yeah, because Singapore is like a financial capital. But did you see on Twitter how the people were in there buying like gold and silver at the places to like play the spot prices?
Oh, so like, wait, what do you mean?
So they go buy gold,
right?
And then they're like, there's so many people buying gold and silver in the stores that it's literally busy. Like imagine a Costco just for gold and silver.
Okay, but like I'm assuming the price of gold and silver is pretty volatile.
No, like generally it's been going up.
Oh, well.
So it's safe havens.
Okay,
so that's why gold is at its highest ever. It's like 4,000 something. Silver's at like $70-$80
really.
Thing. Yeah, let me tell you what the gold price right now.
By the way,
gold is 4,562 and silver is 7,968. The highest it's ever been.
By the way, I don't know if you know this, but there is a gold token that is pegged to the value of gold, or I guess stable coin.
Are they like kind of like Circle where they own gold?
Yes.
Okay.
So Circle has treasury bonds to back their USDC stablecoin.
They're essentially saying the treasury bonds, the T bonds, are the same as US dollars, more or less. And then I imagine that Gold One is backed by gold.
Yeah, so I'm in this webpage, and it's called Paxos. I'm assuming it's PaxG. Like, the ticker is PAXG. And they're the providers of Pax Gold, or like the stablecoin that's backed by gold. So earlier this year, we actually covered 2 tokens. It was this one, PaxG, which is mostly Ethereum based, and it's layer 2s. And then the second one, I think it's called Gold, or like Oro, ORO, which is Spanish for gold. And that one's on Solana. So, I think their treasuries are hardly any different except the purity of gold, because obviously if it's 99.9% pure, it's like the standard. But I believe with PaxG, it was something around 99.5 or something, or 95. That's
fine. Like, just like the 24 karat versus like 14 karat, it's a crazy amount of like gold difference, but the percentage is still pretty high.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this kind of table that shows why Pax Gold, and it's kind of like a table. It essentially compares itself to major gold ETFs, gold futures like COMEX, LBMA 400T, Gold Bar, and unallocated gold. And basically, when you're holding gold, you need to pay a lot of fees and just maintenance, if you will, just to sustain the actual raw material. Here, it's just digital, and it's pegged. And then there is a minimum purchase of $20, or like 0.01 ounce. Now, I'm not sure what it's talking about or referring to about the minimum purchase. I think it's like if you want to buy it from them directly, time to settle the transaction is pretty much instant, which is no big surprise because it's crypto. And then there's an allocation amount for it. It is instantly redeemable for physical, which is actually interesting. I didn't know that. And it's regulated by NYDFS. I'm not sure where that is.
I don't know who that is or what it is, but...
Well, let me look at it up because I have my computer. So NYDFS, that's November, Yankee, Delta, Falcon, Sierra. NYDFS cybersecurity regulation applies to any entity conducting business in New York that operates under a license, accreditation, or similar authorization under New York's banking law, insurance law, or financial service law. So I guess it's like...
Anything New York regulated, it's going to be pretty strict.
Right, exactly. So for this next section, we'll talk about regulation and institutions. Will the U.S., here's my first prediction. Will the U.S. pass a comprehensive crypto market structure bill by 2026?
I think simple answer is yes.
Me too.
We've got stable coins. Like there's one problem here is if big banks start to freak out, and they're already starting to freak out about the stablecoin bill that they already passed and everything, because they're talking about depository flight, about that being a risk. I could see some sort of comprehensive crypto bill getting stuck by Congress because of big banks possibly.
Well, that's what's happening with the Genius Act, which is stablecoin issuers. Like banks would be able to issue stablecoins, but they would be under strict law to oversee that there's legitimate business being conducted. So I think it was passed this in 2024. It was proposed, and I remember vividly having that conversation. But this year is when it actually passed. So when it passed, I think, well, I follow this stuff pretty close on Twitter. I remember people were like, losing their minds because it passed. But it was reopened or challenged again by big banks and just the traditional finance system.
They want to make sure nobody is issuing interest for the stablecoin providers, but now they're possibly going after like Coinbase, which is not the issuer, but Coinbase offering the yield or the interest-bearing reward, whatever they want to call it. Yeah, and I mean, they're saying that's bad.
As an entity, Coinbase doesn't provide, stable coins, but they own like what, 60, 70%
it's
of
like 50,
USDC?
60% of USDC, yeah.
Like Circle, the company, the provider. So I would, I mean, the whole legality behind it makes sense, but I would still, I can see why Brian Armstrong is so devoted to this battle, which also I'm glad to have him be a spokesperson for us because we're also building a business on crypto. So I'd much rather have someone like him be our advocate. So, but yeah, why don't we go for the next question?
Sure.
So, will crypto exchanges be regulated like traditional broker dealers in major economies? I want to say, in major economies, do you mean like?
We're talking G20 type economies, Korea, Philippines, maybe like.
So if you think, just because the U.S. says no, some country like the Middle East or EU.
Yeah, like any other place, like, I
want to say yes.
I believe yes too, mainly because the EU is a regulatory like monster. They make more money off of finding and dealing with American tech companies than they do European tech companies tax collected. Granted, there's not a ton of like European tech companies, Spotify, SAP, or Aura Rings or Dutch. Like there's a little bit, but I really do think that they're gonna just lump it into that traditional broker dealer in those major economies, and the United States could win by allowing these crypto companies to have special regulations that in many ways are a little looser because Coinbase is not like a traditional bank. They're not lending out their crypto to like do fractional to then give mortgages and then parking it at the treasury. Like their business model's inherently different. And a bank is all about fractional. They take 70-80% of all money that they hold, lend it out, make money, do all this stuff with it, and that's how they push their money. Like they're getting money on interest, they're getting money on loans, interest. Like that's their play. Sorry,
but if you want to play footsie, that's fine.
But I do think that a lot of these other economies are going to push for that, and I don't know if it's going to be the right decision.
Yep.
But I think it's going to give them some frameworks to like wait till regulation and clarity on what these end up being.
Yeah, I had to think about it for a moment. I definitely see the EU. I initially thought EU when I first said that, like when I asked this question, but I also see the Middle East kind of being a part of it. Now, if we're talking about, not every Middle Eastern country is the same, I think Saudi Arabia or Qatar, all those kind of countries.
It's the UAE,
right?
I could see them, Turkey, regulating more like the United States.
Yeah, they're more liberal as far as,
their economies.
Exactly. As far as making money, they're pretty chill, aside from everything else, right? But they're actually very closely tied to America's economy and like a lot of their regulations.
Yeah, they bought EA. They invested in all of these.
Wait, did that really happen? Like EA?
Yeah, they are partnered with one of the Trump Juniors or Eric Trump. I can't remember which one. And they went and bought EA with.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, look it up.
All right. Yes, Saudi Arabia's. This is from AI Overview from Google, which I think is a really nice feature.
It's pretty accurate
on Gemini.
You can trust the AIs.
Right, they're never wrong. Yes, Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. God, I am so guessing right now. PIF, alongside partners like Silver Lake and Jared Kushner. That's actually, I wasn't expecting that. Affinity Partners is acquiring EA in a massive $55 billion deal. Dang. Okay, that's actually massive.
Yeah, so the Saudis are trying to like diversify outside of oil. So technology is probably the best route for them. I have such mixed feelings about the Saudi government. Like in the end, like it's pretty a regressive regime on the social and everything. I know people love the Middle East and they'll love like Dubai, but they're still pretty bad governments for human rights and a bunch of other things comparative to the United States. So there's a risk on that front, but on the other front, they like money. It's green, and they're kind of like,
everyone loves money.
Yeah, we're gonna do things to essentially allow us to get more green money. And do we really care that like you probably can't play Battlefield 6 in Saudi Arabia anyway? Like,
didn't they like put money on Battlefield 6? Or isn't it because EA owns Frostbite? I think that's the company that designed Battlefield 6 again. My concern with the Saudi Arabia and Middle Eastern countries getting involved with our economy is we're going to start to do their bidding, kind of like we've been doing with Israel. And I don't want to get political. Excuse me, I don't want to get political. But there's a quid pro quo when it comes to giving each other money, which we see it all the time in business. There's nothing new about it. What I am concerned about is what is the fine line? What is the quid pro quo like? So we'll see what happens. I mean, I like to approach things glass half full, pretty optimistic about things until I get a reason not to. So far I haven't gotten the reason to, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, moving on to the next question. Will a major global bank launch on-chain settlement for retail customers? So I know you wrote these questions, but when you say launch on-chain settlement for retail customers, are you talking about like Coinbase Pay or maybe
I'm talking like JP Morgan, I'm talking Wells Fargo, like settlement as in, so talking JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo as in USDC or some sort of stable coin is going to be where I send you money and it settles in crypto payment.
Okay, so I mean, you're saying, okay, if I'm sending you US dollars, because Apple Pay or whatever, and then my provider is Chase.
Yeah. Will they settle that in U.S. stablecoin?
Definitely not. I don't think so, because these guys are slow to adapt.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, I mean, I would love to be proven wrong. Okay, well, I know
because like
I'll let you
JP
finish.
Morgan has Chainlink, they're pushing really hard. I could see at least one major institution say, "Hey, our rails are now crypto rails."
Yeah, I got to think about this one a little bit more. I think
It's a big jump. Like it's a risk play. Like I think in the end, I could be wrong, but I could also be right that like they have to do it.
Right.
But they could set it up.
No, it's a good point, and I think these are great questions, by the way. But I mean, okay, Jamie Dimon was the same guy who a couple of years back said Bitcoin is a scam.
Yeah.
Don't waste your money, that sort of stuff. And suddenly this year, like towards the second half of 2025, he said, "Oh, Bitcoin is going to, or blockchains and Bitcoin are going to change the financial world."
Yeah.
Essentially saying the same thing that Larry Fink, Brian Armstrong, and like A16C or any other, VC on crypto have been saying for the last few years. So I think he finally sees the signals, and to be fair, a lot of people have been calling it out, just because I think if you know how crypto works, if you understand, like if you put all the Hawk Tua coins and Doge coins aside, the technology is pretty revolutionary. And just read the read the Bitcoin white paper, and you let me know what you think. Leave it on the comments if you kind of see it as how Satoshi Nakamoto sees it.
Yeah.
But I think no is my answer still, because I mean there's still a lot of clarity that needs to be given for these big traditional finance institutions. We still need a little bit more of legislation to pass, and I think even if it passes, it's still going to take a while to build the infrastructure. Sure, I mean, Chainlink has the capital, and they have the capital, they have the assets, resources, you name it, and the talent to build these systems, but it's still going to take a couple of years maybe. So for 2026, I would say no.
Okay. Then the next one, let's do it because it's the last one, kind of tied to it, ties to the genius, everything.
Oh, you're right. So will stablecoins be formally regulated and issued by banks in the US or EU?
So when I wrote this, and the reason I want to clarify this,
Yep.
they are formally regulated already. So this part is kind of asking, is a bank going to start issuing stablecoins more than anything?
I think that's already happening by JP Morgan with the Base app. Where
Let's see if it actually, like, I think monetarily somebody at I want to open my Chase app and have USDC or
Got it.
or USDD for USD Diamond.
Right. So even though I said no to on-chain settlements, I still think it'll be easier to provide issuance of tokens,
Okay.
even Bitcoin, because on-chain settlements, you're talking about an entire payment settlement system that, I don't know if they're going to kind of do it like how they do with the traditional finance system, where someone manually reviews and maybe traces for any potential money laundering. Because the reason why, and I've learned this recently, like the reason why the traditional finance system is so fucking slow is because they need to do a system of balance check, where essentially, is there potential money laundering, fraud, etc., you name it. So I can see that being harder. But if you're simply issuing USDC or Bitcoin, yeah, it's easier.
Cool. Next section, a little bit more stablecoin payments related. Like these all kind of fine-tune in here together, less on the regulation side. We're going to go a little speed round. We've been talking a lot.
Yep.
Okay, so the first one will stablecoin transaction volume exceed Visa's annual volume by end of 2026? Visa's annual volume right now is 16.7 trillion.
16.7. Do you have USDC's annual transaction volume?
And okay, so this is the hard part. Is right now supposed because you've got Tether, which is the largest, and USDC, which is the second. USDC is about 76 billion, and Tether's about, which is USDT, about 186 billion. I would say yes, because I do believe that major banks and stuff will start doing settlement on chain, and that's going to accelerate it significantly.
Yeah.
It's a pie in the sky bet, but like it's one of those 1%
or moonshot.
Moonshot, pie in the sky.
Okay.
Whatever the saying is.
I agree. Yes, but that's funny.
Okay.
I think we've already starting to see even. Man, I remember in 2024 I was looking at all that data because when I was first building my social media crypto-based app, I was really looking into integrating stablecoin payments, and USDC came out with a statistic that it was already like in the trillions, and I was like, oh, I mean, trillions is an unimaginable amount of money, but it's quickly catching up.
Yes, it is. I think the jump. It's just like when you make $100,000 in like a stock account, a brokerage account. Getting from 100,000 to 1 million is much easier. Like the time it takes from you to get to 1 to 100,000.
Yeah.
Similar amount of time for you to get from 100,000 to 1 million.
Yeah.
So as the number gets
solid
bigger,
compounding.
It just keeps compounding, and there's a thing. So the next question is, will one stablecoin lose its dominance, USDC or USDC?
Okay, that's actually a really good question.
Due to regulation or trust issues. I think hands down USDT right now is in that zone.
Yes.
And I could see another stablecoin provider, even if it's not Tether, really falling apart this year as the first kind of like failure on that.
I mean, it's too soon to tell, but I want to say yes as well because, I mean, we covered it a few weeks ago, but I know USDT has been largely losing trust since like Terra Luna.
Yeah.
You know that?
Okay, that's fair. I forgot about that.
2022. I mean, Terra Luna was a stablecoin on Tether, and then we've seen FTX, FTT. It was also on Tether. So it already has this kind of negative reputation based on these scam stablecoins that were issued on the Tether network. But I mean, I think it's just the start of it. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fair. I think we're in agreement there. There's going to be some sort of drama, and we're going to be here to report on it.
Right.
Now, the next one was, will a non-USD stablecoin, think the EU or the Euro, think GBP, you know, the Great British Pound, you know, something gold-backed maybe, are they going to reach a meaningful adoption? I'm no. Nobody wants...
Yeah, no.
These other currencies. The reason people want USDC is because they want to hold the US dollar equivalent. So many people I know that we work with internationally on the marketing company want to hold US dollar because their currency is so unstable.
What about the euro? Have you talked to European people?
I don't think the Europeans are particularly like troubled with their economies and stuff, and think about holding U.S. dollar compared to their euro.
Right.
I think a lot of developing nations, the Philippines, Argentina, Colombia, Mexico, I think a lot of these other developing countries.
Is Argentina developing?
I would say it's developing.
I think it's been developed, but their whole country.
Latin America is not developed. Everyone can argue with me in the comments.
Valid.
But there's very few data centers. Like there's a whole blue chip market to get Argentinian dollars into U.S. dollars because the currency was so inflationary. Like the U.S. gave them a $20 billion loan essentially in a weird money transfer.
What about like automakers? Like I don't want to go off on a tangent, but like just quick side note because I'm kind of mind boggled by that because I used to think Mexico was like a second world country, but no, it's actually a first world country because of its its trading with like internationally big car providers are in that country. You know, I'm talking Ford, GMC, Chevrolet, you name it. I mean, you haven't seen Tesla yet, but data centers, I can see that point. I don't know about that, but
like there's very few data centers there. Like you can go into Argentina and have very developed cities. but I would
Okay.
say most of the infrastructure in Latin America, all the way from Mexico down, is pretty like rudimentary. Like the electricity's problems, the internet's problems.
That's a good point.
Like if you're in Bogota in Colombia, you don't, a lot of time in certain cities or in certain areas, you don't even have trash pickup. Like there's a lot of oddities in Latin America that you don't see like in America, but also like a lot of people in America don't realize, like I go out in the country, there's roads that are just literally like 3 miles worth of like dirt road. And people are like it boggles their mind that there's a dirt road that like thousands of homes people live down there. And there's just a dirt road that like is literally just gravel.
You should visit. I got engaged in Greece this year.
Yeah.
I went to the biggest island of I believe the Mediterranean, or at least in Greece.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Crete.
Okay.
We went from Konya, which is like one of their major port cities, or at least an old port city, very big on tourism. We went to this, what is considered by tour guide or tour trip.
Sure. I don't know.
I forgot the provider, my bad. But they rated this beach the most beautiful beach on the Mediterranean, if not the world. And it was like the sand was quite literally pink.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Getting there was a fucking hassle. My fiance was driving at the time, and we almost fell off a cliff at least. So it was like pretty scary.
I think
But-
a lot of the world is pretty undeveloped. Like if you go to China,
That's my point. Yeah.
Like you're inside of like Shanghai where all the development's happening. Yeah, but you go 3 hours out there, there's people still living in like, you know, what we would call a trailer and all of that. So
That makes sense.
I just view Latin America a little less developed because of like some of their ways, their systems. Like there's not a lot of banking still in Latin America. Like
True.
there's a lot of weird oddities there.
Really good point.
I'm sure people are going to give me a lot of hate, but I can tell them, you know, like Brazil, like there's not data centers anywhere in Latin America because security is a problem, corruption's a problem. It's just like some of these old USSR countries. They're semi-developed, but they're not quite developed because
You mean
fraud
like
and-
the old
yeah.
USSR?
Yeah, like
countries?
even Ukraine.
Yeah.
The reason Ukraine couldn't get into NATO was because government corruption was such a problem.
Oh well,
Like,
I didn't know that.
There's like weird little things that are like nuanced in the world. Okay, total side jar there, but
No, but
okay. So we got no
Good
on that
combo.
one. Next one is, will stablecoins become default B2B payment layer for international trade? As
Definitely
much
not.
as I want to say yes, I'm going to say no.
oh, I think you're putting.
Yeah,
on
we
but-
both put a no in here. We're
you-
keeping track of it.
Right.
Okay.
No, but I agree. I mean, we're so advanced compared to the world.
Yeah.
You know, I used to think, man, like I see all the bad things happening in this country. I wonder how it's like on Europe. I always hear it's really fun to travel and visit Europe.
Yeah.
No, we have it better here, in like so many ways.
I think American exceptionalism is a odd disease to have, but I do believe, like, if you're in Germany and you insult somebody, that's a crime. In
didn't know
America,
that.
yeah, like if you insult them online, it's a crime.
Wow.
And you can go to jail. The UK has had more arrests for speech arrest in 2025 than they had of like petty crimes and stuff.
Dang.
So like there's a lot of problems in the world.
I thought that was more common in the Middle East because of how.
The Europe has fallen apart for that. Like
Wow.
freedom of speech is not a given in most of the world.
Wow.
So like America, like as much as people want to hate it, and there's so many problems with healthcare and the economy and many other things, like, but like in the grand scheme of it, we are in the best world or best country in the world to have this economic chance.
Definitely.
Okay, next part,
Yeah.
DeFi related, which is really what we're building now.
We are.
So I want to see what we say here. Will DeFi TVL exceed its 2021 all-time high by the end of 2026?
So TVL, you're saying total value locked inside of DeFi protocols.
Yes.
Like you're talking protocols like Aave or like
Anything
blockchains.
DeFi, like
Okay. 2021 was massive. Everyone was starting to get it. You know, all the 4chan signals that we saw like in the early 2010s, people are finally seeing them.
yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna say yes.
I want to say yes, but I am conflicted because I just know DeFi is really hard, man.
That's fair.
And I build on DeFi, but I know people. I've been on so many threads and blogs, like forums, where people just don't get some basic shit like decentralization, trustless, even simple terminology like that. They're like, okay, but what does that mean in this context? So I'm kind of conflicted. But vibe coding makes this a lot easier. So maybe you could make an easy app. I'm going to say yes. Fuck it.
The reason I'm also saying yes is because I think 2026 is going to be the year that DeFi becomes like decoupled from like this whole complicated blockchain shit. I think we're going to see more DeFi where you put some USDC in there and then you just kind of do some stuff. Like I think there's going to be much more of that.
I see it. And I mean, I hope you're right. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but I just, you know me, I'm more of an optimist, but if we're talking about like it becomes the public conscious or awareness that DeFi exists. And
would you consider Polymarket DeFi?
Oh, 1,000,000,000%.
Like that's why I think we're gonna see it really go, because
I guess so, yeah.
Polymarket's there, like prediction markets are there. I wish Kashi was like a crypto native, but I could see them turning into a crypto native.
They wanted to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen an interview from like, I forgot the
founder lady. She's
pretty
fucking brilliant.
She's very fucking brilliant. They're both from MIT, by the way. But no, the guy, I forgot his name.
I don't know the guy. I just know the woman. I didn't know there was a guy to it.
She's very pretty. She's also a ballerina, which is like my fiance. Retired ballerina, I think. Okay. But anyways, I think Kalshi could become DeFi if they've toned in more on stablecoins and crypto native settlements. Like
100%.
Optimus, how Polymarket does it.
Let's see. Okay, will a DeFi protocol become a top 10 global financial platform by revenue? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to get big.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, we're mostly seeing DeFi in like SaaS, but not really beyond that.
Yeah. Okay, then will real-world assets, RWAs, on-chain exceed 500 billion in value? I think this could be a simple yes.
Well, you read the A16C State of Crypto of 2025. 500 billion is nothing compared to 30 trillion by 2030. Yeah. That will be managed by agents.
And I think the progression is going to be very fast. Okay, so this last one's a weird one. Will, oh man, your little anonymous Wolverine is covering my thing. Okay, there we go.
Oh, that's funny.
Will on-chain replace a meaningful portion of private credit markets? So,
on-chain
for example,
lending, like stablecoin Morpho.
Like for example, Coinbase lets you lend against your Bitcoin, your Ether, or your Ethereum.
Oh, I didn't know about Bitcoin.
Your USDC. I think the answer is going to be no. I think the part here is most people are going to think it's too dangerous.
I agree. I mean, there's this whole fear of like, just because the protocol, it could be breached by a bad actor, which it actually happens quite often.
It's no different than a bank falling apart or your mortgage getting sold to the next company. But there's a greater risk, and I think most people are scared of that.
Again, people don't understand what the fuck DeFi is. Yeah. So if they don't understand it, they're not going to put their money on it. Unless you have like some SaaS that really just knows how to execute on it.
Yeah.
Now, lending is not as dangerous as it might seem. It's just DeFi breaches happen all the time. I mean, it's not uncommon, but it's also not very common.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. So we'll talk about now NFTs, social, and culture. So my first question is, will NFTs regain mainstream relevance outside of speculation? I want to say no.
No, I don't. I think it was a fad, and I don't think this fad is coming back.
I hate how Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, removed the whole NFT profile picture. I think they should stick with it.
I think they should have implemented it better. Like, let you put mint your own NFT. Like, Like you should have
That'd
been
be
able to
cool.
mint your own NFT avatar and had your follower information at the time and everything. Like I think there was cooler ways to do it than the half-assery way that they did it.
No, it makes sense, and I agree. But I think they could have done way more with it. But I just to answer the question, I don't think
Yeah.
the answers. I think the answer is no. So for the next question, will at least one major global brand use NFTs as a core loyalty or identity layer? Definitely not. We saw that a lot
Yeah. Well,
back in like
I'm going to challenge
2021.
you slightly
Okay.
on that. American Express is now giving you NFTs for like when
Really?
you visit places.
Huh. I don't have
Like-
American Express. You can tell I'm poor. No, but okay, that's cool.
So like it's starting to happen, but I don't think it's going to progress to be like a meaningful like identity layer or core loyalty system yet.
Well, you know what's interesting? The resemblance I see there is at one point, and I didn't know this because I didn't go there. At MIT, they give their alumni or their admitted students $100 worth of Bitcoin back in 2014.
Oh wow.
Exactly.
God.
That is insane. We're
Yes.
talking about possibly $1 million. It's not going to get to that level, at least. So if we're talking about it being a core loyalty or even an identity layer, we have to see like something as big as like Bitcoin.
Yeah, like WorldCoin would have to blow up and become a core identity layer, and I don't
Yeah.
foresee that happening at the moment.
Yeah, me neither. So easy no. So next question, will social media platforms integrate on-chain identity or wallets by default? In the
I
year
don't think so.
2026, no.
Yeah, just because Farcaster is such a like a high profile one pivoting away from like this decentralized social web not web C DeSo
That takes me back though.
DeSo
Decentralized social.
yes, they're also dying slowly. I don't
Dude.
think any one platform is going to do it. I do see Meta at some point thinking about it, but I just don't see it right now.
You know, at one point in 2021, I read that Meta was exploring their own coin called Libra.
Yeah,
Some
but then
shit
they
like
got
that.
crushed because everyone was like, "You're creating your own currency," and like there was all this discussion around like what's the U.S. dollar comparative to that, and like regulatory pressure killed that idea.
You know, I would like to see. If you've seen the movie, Ready Player One, you know it's all digital.
I love
virtual.
it. Read the book. Yep.
Same. So I can see us heading into that direction, and we no longer use U.S. dollars like fiat currency. We use digital. I think there's going to be a point in time where we get to that point, but not right now.
Yeah, I think it's a 5-year pipe dream.
Maybe definitely in our lifetime, but not for the next decade or so. So for the last section, we are kind of mixing AI and crypto, high variance and high reward predictions, sort of. So one, will AI agents hold and transact crypto wallets autonomously at scale?
Wow, I thought you were gonna vomit at the thought of that.
Dude, yeah, I mean, it was kind of a mouthful. I would say yes. But in 2026, I mean, hopefully if we launch, because that's, spoiler alert, what we're doing with MintLocke.
I'm going to agree with you because I do think that it's going to like really pop off. You have the 401 protocol, you have Coinbase pushing that.
401, yeah, exactly.
You're going to see more agents being around.
No, it's called X402.
Oh, sorry, X402.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking all the different web protocols, but X402 I think is going to be a big one because agents are going to become an on-chain like thing that moves through the internet, and more it's going to be very important.
Yeah, so that makes sense. I mean, again, I'll reiterate. The State of Crypto by ACCC of 2025 said that they're seeing this massive trend where agents will actually be autonomously moving our money up to $30 trillion worth of it by 2030. I think that's a moonshot kind of estimation, but it's not unrealistic. So for the next question, will decentralized compute or data markets compete with centralized AI providers?
I'm going to say that in the end, they're not going to like overtake. They're not going to really compete. I think they're just going to coexist at the moment.
When you say decentralized compute, do you mean like just decentralized versions of like raw compute power, like almost agents?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's gonna be a coexisting because they're already like making their push in the markets right now.
This is kind of a big brain question because I think you need to have some level of technical knowledge because I'm thinking AI.
Yeah, because like right now you have centralized artificial intelligence. Think OpenAI.
Right.
Is there going to be more decentralized versions of that? And I think the answer is yes, but
I haven't seen any decentralized versions of that though. Do you know of any?
Let's see.
I want to say no because I don't think decentralized computation exists unless if you want to say open source, that's a separate topic. But like DeepSeek and then what's that other one? Starts with a K.
There's a few like Ashka Network,
Okay.
Ocean Protocol. There's a few, but they're very like small starting there. So no to you. I think it's going to become a big thing this year. I don't think it's going to really push these big providers or anything.
Dang. I mean, I haven't done my math, or I'm sorry, I haven't done my homework on decentralized compute yet, but I don't think it's as relevant or big as it might seem yet. So for that reason, no.
Okay. Next question then.
Will a crypto native AI protocol reach a $15 billion market cap? I don't think I know of any.
That's why I don't think that it's going to be there.
No.
There could be one that emerges and happens, but I think the whole AI and compute is there. Like, for example, I've heard a lot of providers out there turning their Bitcoin mines into AI like compute like data centers.
Right.
But I don't know anybody that's like doing these AI protocols quite like at scale and with publicity.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's some out there that do some of it, but I don't know any that like are on CNBC.
So that makes sense. Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. And for the last question of today, will AI-driven trading dominate on-chain volume? I mean, if we look at the state of crypto, $30 trillion is a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Unimaginable amounts. And AI agents are going to be moving that by 2030, according to the state of crypto. Will we see something like that in 2026? I don't think so yet.
Okay, I think we are.
Okay.
Especially as the real world assets, these like the Arbitrum networks, Chainlink, all of that. I think like Bloomberg Terminal and all these other tools are going to turn and be like, oh shit, we got to automate on-chain assets. And I think we could see that towards the middle end of the year. Like the world is moving so fast,
Dude, yeah.
that
It's insane.
1 month feels like a quarter many times.
Definitely, especially on the crypto space.
Yeah, anything AI, anything crypto, I think it's pushing hard.
More so on AI, you're right. Shit, I mean, that's a really big question in of itself. I still want to say no because, I mean, on-chain volume. Okay, so Solana has taken a bit of a hit because of all the, like the lawsuit stuff, in case you guys are not aware. But Ethereum is still kind of dominating, especially Base.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is mostly just sitting idle, people holding long term. But we would need to see more. One, I think we would need to see more platforms like Palm.fun that actually work. Like people actually make money, because right now people put their money there, they lose money. You could say Polymarket sort of DeFi protocols, or not even protocols, but like SaaS, that could help.
Yeah.
Especially if we can automate that. But I don't think we're there yet for next year.
No, I don't. I could see it. Like we're seeing cars come on chain. Like you get your title via an NFT on chain thing. Like I could see some of that really hit the market, and then
Yeah, I suppose.
automation just really hit and do it. Like I could see people trading futures and all of that. Derivatives are going to be a big thing. All of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That was it. We're going to put all predictions. We'll probably put it on the MintLocke blog.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Lock it in there. I'd love to hear, what people think. Like, our takes are, colored by being in the crypto industry pretty heavily, but share them. Leave a comment, tweet us, if that's what you call it, or is it called like an Xing?
Xing. I think I heard that going around somewhere.
I think it should be called a slice.
A slice?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Just I think a tweet should be called a slice now.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
You can't be Twitter or tweeting. But anyways.
But,
yeah, like and share. Thanks for watching.
Yep. And then we'll be here in the rest of the year. So give us a follow.
Yeah, thank you.